Alright YouTube, what's up? It's me Kakashi back at it again with another Beeswarm simulator video, and today's topic is all about Puffshrooms, one of the most important mechanics in Beeswarm simulator. I thought it was important, or would be important for me to make a video on Puffshrooms today because of the sheer amount of important materials you can get from it. You can get every single kind of wax from Puffshrooms, a lot of basic materials like fruits and random goodies like gumdrops and all that, and just basic things that should be known about Puffshrooms. Today is just going to be a whole guide about Puffshrooms, everything that you should really know. And you know, before we really begin the video, I just want to again preface: Puffshrooms are one of the most important things a Beeswarm simulator player can try and dip their toe into, or at least the topic. Puffshrooms give everything that you could ever want in Beeswarm simulator. A lot of endgame players need to grind Puffshrooms because of the sheer amount of turpentine they need for Planner of Plenty or for Gummy Baller. So this video is going to be a guide on everything that you will need to know about Puffshrooms, and hopefully this video will help a few of you guys in getting the rest of the turpentine you need for Gummy Baller or Planner of Plenty, or anything that you really need, like the swirled wax for Tide Popper or caustic wax. Anything that you could really possibly want can be gotten from the Puffshrooms. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so before we start here, I want to preface by saying that this video is probably going to be split up into little parts. And the first section that I'm going to be talking about right now is actually how to get Puffshrooms, what they do. And, well, no, not really what they do. We'll get into what they do in just a bit. But, I'm gonna get you, knowledge. Jesus, get you knowledge? What does that even mean? I'm going to give you the knowledge of how to actually get Puffshrooms. So, there are two ways that you can get Puffshrooms, and only two ways. I'm not sure if events can get you Puffshrooms or anything of the sort, but there are only two ways that are the most common and constant ways of getting Puffshrooms in Beeswarm Simulator. So, the first way that Puffshrooms spawn is naturally. We call these natural puffs, and these Puffshrooms spawn every 15th and 45th minute of the hour. So let's say that it's 3 o'clock. At 3:15, you're going to get one natural Puffshroom, and at 3:45, you will get another natural Puffshroom. Now, it's important to note that this may not be the case if your clock is behind. Well, it will not be the case if your clock is behind, or you may live in a different time zone. So in order to really, you know, mitigate the confusion, you can use the Mondo Chick clock over here to really tell the time of when the Puffshroom will spawn. Now, as of right now, there are no natural Puffshrooms in this world. However, I can probably put a picture up of what a natural Puffshroom will look like. Natural Puffshrooms will always spawn at level 1, meaning that these Puffshrooms are going to be the lowest level they could possibly be at, and you will have to grind the Puffshroom up to get it to any higher level. We'll get into how that works later on. The second way to actually get Puffshrooms is the best way, in my opinion, and that way is to, if we come over to my pine tree field, place a planter and see if there's smoking. I have 2 smoking planters, and if the planter is smoking, that means that there's a Puffshroom in it. When you collect the planter, there will be a Puffshroom collected, or there will be a Puffshroom spawned right where the planter stood. So that is extremely important, because if you have a server full of people with smoking planters, you can have 3 each. That's 3 times 6, meaning that you can have 18 puff runs in the span of, I don't even know, 30, oh no, not 30 minutes. It's like 10 minutes each puff. But you get the point. You get a lot of Puffshrooms per planter that has a smoking aura around it. And the smoking aura, again, is just that brown hue that is around the Puffshroom. Now, there are rarities to the amount of times it will smoke, and what I mean by that is like the chance that a puff or a planter will smoke is random each time. Well, not really random, there is a chance. I can put up the numbers on the screen right now, but go check here. For the ticket planner, it is a 100% chance that you will get a smoking planner, which means there's a 100% chance that you'll get a Puffshroom. For the planner of plenty, you have a 25% chance. For the pedal planner, you have a 20% chance. For the hydroponic and the heat treated, you have a 16.67% chance. For the pesticide planner, you have a 15.38% chance. For the tacky planner, you have a 14.28. The red clay and blue clay have a 12.5. The plastic planner has a 10%. The candy planner has a 10%. The festive planner has a 10%. And at the lowest percentage of getting a smoking planner is the paper planner with a 3.33%. So, obviously here the best planner to use for trying to get Puffshrooms is the ticket planner. It is a 100% chance that you will get a Puffshroom from that. However, if you don't have any ticket planners, because I know people are very dry on ticket planners at this time of year, you can use regular planners. The best planners to use is the not heat treated. I keep forgetting. The planner of plenty, the most expensive planner in the game. The pedal planner, and then hydroponic or heat treated. If you don't have planner of plenty, which 90% of you probably don't, I recommend just using pedal planner, hydroponic planner, and heat treated planner. They're the best planner of the game. Pesticide planner is also a good fit in case you don't have one of the other pesticide or heat treated or hydroponic. But any planner will really do. They all have a good chance, besides the paper planner, of having a Puffshroom spawn from it. So there you go. And right here we see that I have a smoking planner, blue clay, and I have a ticket planner that's also smoking, which makes sense because it's 100%. Okay, so the next part of the video is going to be talking about the loot that you can actually get from these Puffshrooms. So why do we do Puffshrooms? Why are they so important? Why are they so lucrative? I'm going to show you, not really show you right now, but I'm going to tell you why these planners, not planners, Puffshrooms, are so important to Beeswarm players. So we're going to start with all the loot. Now, it's important to note here that loot is completely dependent on the rarity of the Puffshroom. So, depending on how rare the Puffshroom is, ranging from regular Puffshroom to mythic Puffshroom, the chances of you getting this loot are different. So, from the beginning, the loot that you are capable of getting are gumdrops, royal jelly, strawberries, blueberries, sunflower seeds, and pineapples, tickets, neon berries, bitter berries, soft waxes, coconuts, glue, field dice, smooth dice, robo passes, hard waxes, caustic waxes, swirled waxes, loaded dice, glitter, star jelly, and of course, the ever so sought after turpentine, or turpentine, depending on how you want to pronounce it. All this loot can be gotten, and of course, like, all this loot's very useful. Like, you can get a lot of, fruits from it. You can get a lot of gumdrops from it. You can get a lot of everything, basically, from it. So, yeah, I mean, do whatever you really, get what you really want here. But, of course, the most important pieces of loot here are the waxes. The, not turpentine, I'm an idiot. The soft waxes, the hard waxes, the caustic waxes, and the swirled waxes can all be gotten from them. High-level Puffshrooms only, basically. But yeah, no, it is pretty simple to get them. High-level Puffshrooms will usually give you pretty good waxes. Not too long ago, I was doing Puffshrooms with friends, and I got a singular swirled wax. So keep going with that, and you can get a lot more waxes, a lot more swirled waxes to get you that pedal planner or the Tide Popper or the caustic waxes to get you the dark scythe. So that's all the loot you can get from Puffshrooms. Of course, extremely good loot. Everybody seeks these Puffshrooms for all the loot, and that's why they're important. But now, how do Puffshrooms work? And this is where things can get a little confusing with people because they don't know how Puffshrooms work. So this part is going to be very, very difficult to explain, but I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can. Okay, so, bad news. You can sort of see the remnants of it up here. But, my footage got corrupted. So, what I just did is I did a quick puff run by myself with the ticket planner that was in the pine tree field. I'll quickly go over what I said and maybe do a quick one with this one down here, even though that'll be sort of a waste. But basically all that I went over was that when you do a puff run, you want to be boosted. You want to make sure that you have field dice to use when you have those large level Puffshrooms in your field. You want to make sure that you use red, blue, purple potions, super smoothies, anything that you can really get your hands on to really boost the amount of pollen that you're collecting. Get speed tokens, maybe have a few bees that can do a lot of pollen damage. Anything of that can really get you a lot of pollen is what you want to have. They will aid you greatly and massively inside of puff runs. Now that we're back here, what I explained to you as well was how Puffshrooms basically level up. So the way that Puffshrooms level up is you'll have a Puffshroom in the field that you found it in, whether that be natural or you got it from a planter. When you hit that Puffshroom and break it, it will go to another field. The fumes from that Puffshroom will go to another field. I'll see if I have a picture I can show you. It's better to see it live, but maybe I'll do like a live stream with Puffshroom grinding. But the fumes will go to another field. On screen, I will also put a little map of where the fumes can go. They can go to another field, and they will go to another field on the first one. And what will basically happen is every new field that that Puffshroom goes to, it will gain 2 levels. So if you have a level 1 Puffshroom, it goes to a new field, it would be a level 3 Puffshroom. Goes to a new field, it'll be a level 5 Puffshroom. And it'll keep going. Now, Puffshrooms have a chance to go back to a field that they've already been to, or stay in the exact same field. If they stay in the exact same field or go back to a field they've already been to, it has a chance of leveling down, which is bad. You do not want your Puffshroom to level down at all, but it also has a slight chance of leveling up by just 1. So if you have a level 13 Puffshroom and it goes to a field that it's already been in, it will level up, either level up once or it will level down. What you want to do, what the goal is to get your Puffshroom to go to every single different field, or just a lot of different fields, just different fields in general, and level that up to as high a level as you can possibly get it. The higher the level Puffshroom, the more likely it is to turn into a different rarity of Puffshroom, which we'll get into in a bit, and also the better the loot the Puffshroom will drop. For instance, if you have a level 1 Puffshroom, it's not going to drop a lot of rare loot. But if you have a level, let's say like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 Puffshroom, it's going to drop extremely good loot, or a lot more of the good loot than a lot more than usual. Now, let's get to Puffshroom rarity. So, there are a few rarities of Puffshroom. Some of them you may already know, some of them you may not know. What we're going to talk about is the 5 different types of rarities, I believe. There are common Puffshrooms. I might put a picture up if I have all the pictures I can get, which are just brown. You already know what they look like. They're regular Puffshrooms. You have the rare Puffshroom, which is more silver, kind of bluish, if you will. You have epic Puffshrooms, which are yellow, legendary Puffshrooms, which are light blue, and mythic Puffshrooms, which are purple. You cannot miss mythic Puffshrooms. They are the most not most common. Oh my god, if only they were common. But no, no, they are the most known most known Puffshroom. Everybody looks for mythics. And of course, the rarer the Puffshroom, the better the loot that you can get. And when you get to that mythic Puffshroom, you can get Turpentine. Actually, a friend of mine today, we were doing Puffshrooms, actually got a Puffshroom, I think it was a legendary Puffshroom, and actually got himself a Turpentine from that. So, I mean, yes, it's rare, but, like, you know, the rarer the Puffshroom, the better the loot chance, but you can still get Turpentine and pretty good Caustic. I've gotten Caustic and Swirled Wax from Puffshroom runs and all that. And I haven't even broken a single mythic. We have gotten mythics before, which is, we ran out. It was like 1 second, but that's besides the point. That's basically all that is. Now, if you didn't really understand what I said and it all blew over your head and you just want a quick synopsis of what you should do, all you want to do is make sure your Puffshroom fume is going to a new field each time. That's all you need to know. Just make sure that Puffshroom is going to a new field and keep breaking it. Make sure that you're boosting and that you have boosts active. And most importantly, make sure you bring friends along. You cannot do and go far in Puffshroom runs if you do it alone. The Puffshroom run that got corrupted that I just did with the ticket planner, I did myself. Now, I did it myself, and, you know, I would have loved to show you the footage of that, but I didn't really make it that far anyway. I only got 1 rare Puffshroom, and the max level I got to was 15. So, and that ended up being in a in Mushroom Field, which is a horrible field for blue hives. So, that is the gist of Puffshrooms. Make sure they go to different fields, make sure you're boosting, and make sure you have friends. And yeah, that's Puffshrooms in a nutshell. We already talked about the loot pool that you can get from Puffshrooms. We already talked about how Puffshrooms work, how the leveling works, what you should do to do Puffshroom runs, how you can find Puffshrooms just in planners and naturally every 15 and 45 minute or 45th minute of your server or of the hour. There really isn't much else to do or to talk about with Puffshrooms, except there are a few strategies that you can use. The main strat I'm going to talk to you about right now is just the 15B zone strat. If you have a level 10 or higher Puffshroom in any of the level or 15B zone fields, be it cactus, pumpkin, or pine, you and your friends can each get a field and grind out Puffshrooms. It has to be level 10 or higher, but if any of them touch down on this field, you can actually grind for mythics in this field. You all just have to take a field, or you can do it solo, and just keep breaking Puffshrooms until you get the high-level Puffshrooms. It's extremely easy. These fields are really close together, so it's most likely, or more likely for them to go to each field. And yeah, that is the 15B zone grind Puffshroom setup. Really easy to do. Me and my friends do it all the time. Ironically, or not really ironically enough, but interestingly enough, though, the one time that we did get a mythic is actually just by going around the whole map and taking out Puffshrooms. It is easier to do that because the 15B zone Puffshroom grind is a little bit finicky. You have to get a level 10 up in there. But if you do, I recommend doing 15B zone. If not, then just keep following your Puffshrooms around the map until you finally get that mythic or that legendary or whatever you're really looking for loot-wise. But yeah, that's basically it. That's Puffshrooms in a nutshell. I mean, they're not the most complicated thing on planet Earth, but they can be very, very, very tough to do, especially when you get to those really high-level Puffshrooms. But yeah, I might do Puffshroom live streams in the future just to show you guys what it looks like to actually do Puffshrooms. But I'm sorry that the footage got corrupted. I don't really want to use that Puffshroom planner up there because me and my friends are really, really keen on doing Puffshrooms. But we'll see, we'll see. I might put some footage of someone doing a Puffshroom, maybe not, I don't know. But that's basically it for the video. If any of you guys know anything more or anything that I may have missed about Puffshrooms, please let me know. I could definitely put it in the comments. It's very important and imperative that people know how Puffshrooms work. More of an endgame thing that people do. You should really have an endgame hive when you do Puffshrooms, but that's besides the point. You can do it at any level that you are. But yeah, I mean, that's Puffshrooms in a nutshell. So, with that being said, I feel like that's the end of the video. I'm going to probably make a video on maybe certain... No, I won't do that, but I will definitely make a video on how planters work and the best planners to use and stuff of that sort. When you should get planners and all that, because planners are sort of the next major thing that you should talk about when you talk about Puffshrooms. But yeah, that's the end of the video, so I will see you on the next video, whether that be about planners or some random mechanic in the game. And yeah, happy grinding.